Hey guys, Abdus here. It's been a while, I know, but today I have a new HAWKEN mech overview for you. In this episode, we're gonna check out the Arnold Schwarzenegger of HAWKEN mechs, the Incinerator, also known simply as the Incinerator. The Incinerator is a C-class heavy mech capable of laying down a literally infinite amount of pain in any general direction he wishes, while simultaneously helping out his teammates through his heat-absorbing passive and allowing them to stay in the fight for that much longer. The Incinerator is currently available for purchase for around 12,000 in-game credits, or about 1,400 meteor credits. The Incinerator has a unique loadout, meaning none of its weaponry is available on any other mech at this time. By default, his primary weapon is the B3AR BBY, also known as the Baby. It's a slow-firing machine gun dealing an average amount of damage per second, with decent range and a fairly high amount of heat generation. His secondary weapon is called the SAR launcher. It is the only weapon in the game that uses heat as a resource for firing. What this means is that if you do not have enough heat built up, the weapon will not fire. The default firing mode fires a long-range, slow-traveling explosive round at a low arc and deals a decent amount of damage while consuming a fairly low amount of heat per shot. By pressing the middle mouse button down, you will be able to switch into the launcher's alternate mode, which appears almost identical to the primary mode at first glance, but fires a much more powerful round, although consuming much more heat per shot. Incinerator also has the option of unlocking two other variants of the B3AR at levels 3 and 5, affectionately known as the Mama and the Papa, respectively. Both of these weapons operate similarly to the Baby, but require a spin-up period before firing and have different stats in terms of heat generation, firing rate, and damage per second. The idea is to basically keep your primary weapon firing to build up heat, and quickly use it up by firing your secondary weapon. The Incinerator has the unique ability to passively absorb a small percentage of all heat generated by nearby allies, generated from firing their weapons or otherwise. You have to pay attention to your heat levels and make sure you keep firing your secondary weapon to expend the heat you build up, as Incinerator can still overheat if it accumulates too much heat from any source, and unlike any other mech, it won't lose the heat over time. In team fights, you will find this especially evident, as you will be generating a much higher amount of heat than usual, so it's wise to switch to the SAR's alternate firing mode, which causes more damage and expends more heat per shot. Unlike the other heavy mechs in the game, the Incinerator does not have a turret mode ability. Instead, it has the ability to stomp the ground at its current position, instantly expending all the heat it has built up at that moment, damaging any enemy caught in the radius based on the amount of heat it had at that time. This ability can be a great way to finish off enemies in close quarters, but be warned, using it will put you in an uninterruptible animation for around 1.5 seconds, which means you're completely vulnerable in that duration and cannot fight back or move away from danger until the animation is done. Use it sparingly and only when you have no other option. By default, the Incinerator is equipped with a heat grenade, which, when deployed, causes any mech caught in the radius to continuously gain heat until they move out of the grenade's radius. This item has the potential to be used offensively by throwing it near your enemies, causing them to either displace or risk overheating, or defensively by deploying it near yourself and using the heat generation to power its secondary weapon to full effect. Be careful though of using this near allies for obvious reasons. In terms of other items, I believe support-centric items like turrets or portable scanners work best for the Incinerator, as its strength lies when it's with its team. As for internals, I like using a fuel converter to help gain that much more heat while in a fight for use with the SAR launcher. In conclusion, the Incinerator is a very unique mech that can be very fun to play, but excels in a teamwork environment and does not perform as well as other C-mechs in most 1 versus 1 situations. A good sense of positioning is a great asset to have when playing as an Incinerator, as a well-positioned one will effectively shut down an enemy advance and zone areas quite effectively. It's a great mech to have on your team, but it's probably not the best candidate if you're interested in sheer damage output. So what do you guys think of the Incinerator? Do you like the Stomp ability, or would you prefer some kind of turret mode instead? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks again for watching, guys. This has been Abdus. See you next time.